Thanks for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, access to education suffers in the Congolese city of Goma as M23 militia continue to try to flex their influence in cities they've seized from their push in the country earlier this year. The ramp up to a peace deal signing, but the government in Washington does little, apparently, to roll back the rebels' show of force. Also, we risk total collapse if nothing is done. The police commissioner, who's accused powerful figures in South Africa's justice and security sectors of colluding with criminals to throw investigations, takes the stand in a probe into his allegations. And Benin's one of Africa's biggest pineapple producers, but breakdowns in the system mean that food waste is a particularly prickly problem. While a team of local tech entrepreneurs have turned their attention to the breakdowns with some pretty sweet results, as we find out. But first up, DR Congo's stability hangs in the balance. The main players in DR Congo's rebel crisis are meant to be gearing up for the signing of a crucial Qatari-brokered peace deal due to be signed in Washington in a few weeks. Now, that on paper is supposed to end the conflict that's upended the country this year. Rwanda is set to pull its backing of the M23 militia that invaded parts of eastern DRC in January, and the rebels are expected to have to hand back to the government key seized cities. But under the surface, the power struggle with Kinshasa continues. On Sunday, the M23 paraded more than 7,000 new recruits in a military show of force in Goma. People living there are feeling the rebel flex in other ways as well, including the rollback of some of the most impactful of the government's policies. Our correspondent sent us this report.
At this single mother's home, it's homework time. The atmosphere is studious, but Chantal Nabintu is worried. Since 2019, school has been free. In Goma, an eastern city controlled by M23 rebels, a decree has brought school fees back. This mother, who's juggling odd jobs to get by, doesn't know if she can afford it.
We are being asked to pay school fees, about $3 per child. But for me, that money could be used to buy food or shoes for my son. Unfortunately, he may not be able to finish the year because I can't afford it. It's beyond my means.
At this school, enrollment has become fee-based again. The fees go towards paying teachers, who, according to the M23, are no longer receiving their salaries from the state. This is due to the closure of banks in Goma since the rebels captured the city. So parents are being asked to chip in, and the measure is supported by labour unions.
The governor's decree sets the minimum thresholds at $3 and the maximum at $15. It's a supportive measure that provides some relief, giving teachers and school administrators a small bonus.
In Kinshasa, this isn't going down well. Free schooling is one of Congolese President Félix Tshisekedi's flagship policies. The authorities say they have made arrangements to pay teachers in rebel-occupied territories.
For occupied areas, we are focusing on online payments made via mobile phones. We must seize the opportunity presented by the current situation. This approach allows for greater digitization and enables us to facilitate mobile payments for our teachers.
In eastern Congo, thousands of children remain deprived of schooling because of the fighting between the M23, which is backed by Rwanda, and the Congolese army, which is backed by local armed groups.
A West African bloc, ECOWAS's relations with the Sahelian alliance of states may be warming up. The ECOWAS chairman, Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio, has become the first head of the bloc to visit an AES member. He met with Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, at the presidential palace in Koulaba this week. Now, AES is made up of Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, who all pulled out of the larger ECOWAS regional alliance in January. And on Wednesday, the KwaZulu-Natal police commissioner, who says that South Africa's police and justice systems have been taken over by criminal syndicates, took the stand at a government-backed probe into his allegations. Tlanla Makwanazi, first made the claims in July, accusing top public officials of interfering with investigations on behalf of drug cartels. He's calling for a complete overhaul of a system that he fears is being deliberately dismantled by the very people meant to uphold it and the rights of those who rely on it.
It has been my aim that I want to demonstrate that the criminal justice system has been subject to a continuous threat, as well as sabotage, which has been with us over an extended period, to a point where we believe it is at real risk of a total collapse if nothing is done. Therefore, an urgent and effective interventions are required in order to avert this outcome. And I believe this commission will stand to play a very important role in order to help us to prevent this total collapse of the justice system in our country.
Now, a network of Sudanese community aid groups has won a top prize from a Norwegian human rights foundation. The emergency response rooms have been given the RAFTO prize for their work to try and keep basic services like access to water and power going amidst their country's devastating civil war. Now, Sudan's war has been going since 2023 and is now the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Several past winners of the RAFTO Prize have gone on to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
The RAFTO Prize 2025 is awarded to the Emergency Response Rooms of Sudan. The ERRs are grassroots networks that emerged in the wake of the war in Sudan in 2023. They consist of thousands of volunteers who engage in collaborative, community-driven efforts to meet urgent humanitarian needs of others at great personal risk. The ERRs save lives and maintain human dignity in a place of misery and despair.
Well, Benin is one of Africa's top producers of pineapples. But in part of the continent, up to 40% of crops are wasted because of a number of factors ranging from delays in getting the produce to where it needs to be to inadequate storage facilities. Now, it's all a prickly problem that has attracted the attention of a team of local tech entrepreneurs who apparently have already had some pretty sweet results with their methods. Take a look.
Right now is the peak pineapple season in Benin. Farmers are busy harvesting while buyers are lining up. But between February and August, demand drops significantly, and farmers have 1 week to sell their stock before it spoils. They could lose up to 25% of their crop.
In previous years, some of my pineapples would rot because there was no market.
Last year, I couldn't find any buyers for some of my pineapples. I had to reduce the price and sell them for pennies.
Although Benin is a major pineapple producer in Africa, finding buyers quickly remains a challenge. To address this issue, an agricultural engineer and a tech specialist created a mobile app. ePina locates pineapple fields and connects farmers with buyers. Exporters are notified as soon as crops are ready for harvest.
What we've observed in the past is that exporters could spend days searching for raw materials. Today, with our platform, they can find the pineapples that they need with just one click. They can also plan ahead with a clear idea of pineapple availability over 6 months.
In just 2 years, the app has helped to sell 600 tons of pineapples by linking about 2,000 farmers with over 200 buyers. As a result, farmers saw their income rise by at least 20%. Exporting them, however, demands less fertilizers. So they set up a startup, BioLife, to teach farmers eco-friendly methods, making the soil healthier and extending the fruit's shelf life.
The market that we're introducing to our producers is demanding. Teaching them on the ground makes a real difference.
ePina was born from a partnership between a tech expert and an agronomist, both committed to helping farmers. With support from groups like Digital Africa and Proparco, part of the French Development Agency, BioLife Tech plans to expand into new markets like Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, and beyond.
Now, the Dancescape School in the South African township of Zolani is producing future stars of ballet. So time now to hear from two brothers who are coordinating their steps to chase their dreams of performing on some of the world's biggest stages for their chosen art. Take a look.
Nestled in the hills of South Africa, the Dancescape School in Zolani Township is producing the next generation of the country's star dancers. 14-year-old Salima and his older brother Chuma are the latest raw talents to have been produced by the local dance school.
I heard about my mom, that her mom was actually a dancer. My grandmother shared some of her stories. Me and my brother and my sister got inspired. Then we told ourselves then that we want to dance. We want to be like her.
The Matiso brothers are very close to making their dreams come true. They recently received a scholarship to attend a ballet program at the Manhattan Youth Ballet in New York. Their father could not hide his pride.
It was going to Cape Town, going to Johannesburg, going to New York, going to France. Wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But here they are.
Over the summer, the boys took classes to improve their technique and won over the hearts of the teachers in the process.
Well, Salima has my heart because I love his sense of musicality and his ability to completely inhabit the music in the space. Chuma I find to be very diligent, very hard on himself, in a very good way. They're both amazing movers.
After completing the ballet program, Salima returned to South Africa to finish school. His brother Chuma, meanwhile, is continuing his classes and auditions worldwide, but this time he's heading to Rome.
As a person from South Africa, I'm always open to being motivated by how other people from different places dance.
The two brothers follow in the footsteps of another Zolani dancer, Sifesile November, now principal dancer with the National Ballet of Canada.
Well, that's it for Eye on Africa for now, but thanks for joining us and do so again if you can. Till then, take care.